So what is making the news? What is in the papers? Pat Sharp and Paula London are here to tell us this morning. Welcome back to both of you. Pat, what's in the eye today on coffee, which is obviously a very key part of our daily routine?
Yeah, for you guys, absolutely every morning. So coffee beans up 18%.
What?
Yeah, this is £2.70 extra per pound of coffee beans. Poor weather in Vietnam and Brazil. What's it now going to cost at a service station when you pull in for that expensive coffee and it's now going to be like 10 quid or something?
I was going to say, it's bad enough at some, I won't name the brands, but you can probably guess, bad enough at some coffee shops already.
Yeah.
A latte or a flat white nearly, was it £4, £4.20?
Yeah, and service stations, if you got captive audience on the motorway, £5.50 quid, I think.
I've never drunk coffee, I drink tea.
Now, this is weird now, because I've never had a cup of tea, you've never had a cup of coffee.
You're both completely bizarre.
Yeah, we should not go out for breakfast sometime.
Hang on a minute, you've never had a cup of tea?
No.
And you've never had a cup of coffee?
Never. I just don't like the smell of coffee.
Ben's face.
And I don't need the extra energy either, really, so...
OK, she's hyper enough.
Yes.
Why have you never drunk... hang on, which one of you...
Tea.
Why have you never drunk tea?
I'll tell you where it comes from. So, I was born in 61, making me 63 now. And in the 60s, my parents would wake up with a teasmade by the side of their bed.
Oh, right.
And I would get
My
dressed...
nan had that.
Yeah, I would get dressed and ready for school, and I would smell this sort of tea. Would my mum and dad have a cup of tea in bed? And I would go, that's not for them. No, so I've never had a cup of tea ever since then.
Funny.
Why no coffee?
Well, yeah.
I like the smell of it, really.
There you are.
I love the smell of coffee. Almost as good as the taste.
Either way, you're in trouble now, because it's just gone up 18%.
I know. Well, everything's going up, isn't it?
Paula, what about this one about churches in Scotland have banded together to urge MSPs to avoid pitting vulnerable groups in society against each other by basically providing asylum seekers with free bus passes?
Yeah, I think it's very wrong. The average working person now has had to endure a bus fare rise, and Emma Jackson is being really inflammatory unnecessarily. She has said, Emma Jackson's Church of Scotland Public Life and Social Justice said, I would really urge all our politicians to use language which upholds human rights and human dignity for everyone in our society. And I think it's ridiculous. I mean, if you're an asylum seeker, you get so many things for free. Even in London, if you go to the Tower of London, if you're on Universal Credit, you can visit for £1, but if you work, it's £38.
So just to be clear, the church is rallying politicians in Scotland to give asylum seekers free bus passes?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, what is wrong with the church in this country? They seem to care about everybody bar Christians.
Exactly. I don't know why they can't walk like other people do, so I don't know.
Are you a Christian, Paula? I mean,
Yes,
does it
I am.
surprise you that the church is taking this position? Isn't this exactly... I mean, not to get too deep into the Christianity, this is exactly
really
what Jesus would
upsetting.
do, is it would go for the people that are sort of outcasts in a way.
Yeah, but I pray at home, so I pray at home every day to God, and God has helped me a lot, so... What they're doing, I just try not to think about. I mean, I'm very disappointed, especially in the bishop's behaviour. But my God is good to me, so, yeah.
Pat, families forking out more for Christmas lunch. You're full of all these expensive stories today.
I am just Mr. Price Rise.
Yeah, but so, I mean, Christmas dinner is going to not only cost us a fortune if we're having coffee in the morning, but what else can we expect?
Well, I think you missed a trick when you said fork out more, you see. That's very good. Yeah, I like that. No sign of the knives, but knives will be out for this, because
there you go.
Instead of 18% for coffee beans, we're up 6.5% for our Christmas lunch compared to last year. Spuds, parsnips, carrots, cranberry sauce, Christmas pudding, sprouts. Sprouts have gone up. Oh, good. I don't have to buy sprouts.
Why
This is
do
great
people hate
news.
sprouts so
I quite like
much?
them.
I think they're great.
No.
Yes.
No.
I don't like sprouts, but I love green beans and broccoli.
No, good.
I like vegetables.
Yeah, no, sprouts not for me, but either way, it's going to cost us more money. But apparently, sparkling wine remains the same price, so just have a drink.
I think that's the same for outside Christmas. I remember going for breakfast or lunch where it would come to no more than, say, 20 quid, and you'd have a decent lunch. These days, you go for lunch and it's like 40, 45... I mean,
even now, it's not even cheap anymore. It used to be so cheap. Now it's not really.
It really puts me off going out, but this is for people to have their meals at home. I don't really understand why sparkling wine would be the same price. Presumably, if a potato is going up, it's all the same issue for farmers, whether they're farming grapes or whatever it may be. It's the inconsistency that makes me suspicious.
I think coming from France, I mean, if it's sparkling wine in England, it shouldn't be more expensive, but when things come in...
OK, so this is the foreign stuff. You don't look impressed with your royal portrait, William. I thought this as well yesterday. Was this at his Christmas jumper lunch? And a little boy showed him this picture and he looked... I'm not surprised, because the picture wasn't very nice, was it, Paula?
No.
Did you see it?
It just highlighted his lack of hair. But he's just left a meeting with Donald Trump, or recently, where Donald Trump was saying such wonderful things about him, and then this little boy has brought him back down to earth. Picture was terribly unflattering, but he's put it in his pocket. And, yeah, he was telling the boy how there's 45 for Christmas dinner for him. in Sandringham.
Oh, there we go. We've got... He looks like, you know, a monk. You know, he's got the sort of monk's ring on the top of his head, which, yeah, and
there we go.
Oh, there you go.
And no gap between the eyes.
On Prince William's face, because he's actually doing an upside-down face, and the little boy Carson on the left. He looks like he knows exactly what he's done.
Oh, yeah.
And he feels
He's trolling the prince.
It. Yeah.
Yes.
How old is the lad who drew that?
I think 8. I might have made that up.
Oh.
I might have made that
I was going to say let him off, but...
Can't see his age.
He's 8. Actually, it's not that bad.
10, something like that, yeah.
He's got the beard in, his new beard, Prince William.
Yeah, what do you think of that?
I quite like it.
Oh, I don't.
You're not a fan, though, are you,
No,
Isabel?
10, yeah.
I think because of the beard, he's sort of growing the length of the hair on his head longer, which is making the bald patch more exacerbated.
Yes.
The boy was 10 years old, we're being reliably informed. Carson Hayway, cheeky little devil. Anyway.
Interesting.
So it doesn't end up with a mullet, eh?
Well, exactly.
Pat, what about this one? York is planning to introduce a European-style tourist tax that could see visitors pay more for hotel rooms to help fund the city's historic attractions. I think Manchester does this already, don't they?
Yeah, I believe so, but the vibrant tourism economy of York, apparently their historic assets need to be cleaned. So that's why they're suggesting this equivalent of
buildings and so on.
York Minster and...
Yeah, 9 million visitors in 2023, so a lot of people do go there, as you say, York Minster and stuff. So it's a revenue raiser. But if you think about it and you look at, say, where we are now in London, and you've got a congestion charge and then the ULEZ possibly and the airport drop-offs and et cetera, where does it end? You know, you'll be saying, well, you know, you're going to have to pay to walk into this street or go into that one, but that one's free. And it's
yeah, but let the tourists pay rather than us.
Yeah,
that's
quite
a
good
nice
point. Yeah, that's a good point. This is a Labour council as well, but there is actually no price been fixed for it yet, but they are talking about it. And if they do it there, then they'll start to say, well, maybe we should do this in Oxford or Cambridge and so on and so forth, in other cities that also have a...
Why not, Paula? We get stung abroad, and New York has got one, have they? Tourist tax? Or certainly some Greek islands.
I think, people don't have bottomless pits of money, but I can imagine if you don't work, there won't be a charge. Oh, actually, no, it's for international people, isn't it? I don't really agree. And I've never been to York, so I don't really know how great it is, but I don't really think it'd be worth...
York Minster's
really
stunning.
Very pretty, yeah.
It's absolutely worth a visit.
Yeah. But it depends on the price and, you know...
So Italy has a tourist tax. Tourists pay €1 to €5 per night to as much as €25 per night for the most expensive hotel rooms.
Well, we pay in Dubai as well, tourist tax for visitors, for hotels.
I think it makes sense, to be honest. If it helps to... so many of these places, Oxford or Cambridge, you literally cannot move for tourists. It was almost like a living museum. So why not capitalise on that? Why not try and make some money out of that to the advantage of what you're trying to upkeep, as you say, these incredible historic buildings that pull in all the tourists? I think it's great.
Depends what the price will be, as I say.
You don't want to deter the tourists.
Yeah.
Paula, The Sun, you picked this one out. Boxing legend Floyd Mayweather was attacked in the streets while shopping in central London. Surprise or maybe not?
This actually really worried me. I hope it's not going to set a precedent, because a lot of celebrities, I feel, are back in the Free Palestine movement almost for an easier life, because they know a baying mob of Jewish people are not going to attack them physically or verbally on the streets. And unfortunately, some of the pro-Palestine supporters can be a little, how can I put it? Very verbal, but also can be physical. Thankfully, his security stepped in, but some of the mob actually pushed him and tried to punch him. And they stopped him from spending a fortune in Hatton Garden. And we really need very wealthy people like Floyd Mayweather coming to this country spending money. But he was scared off. He was going to spend a fortune.
Not a good look, Pat?
You've got to be pretty brave to punch Floyd Mayweather, haven't you?
Yeah, or stupid. But it's worrying just because of your political beliefs. He hasn't been that outspoken. He just said he supports Jewish people. Well,
that's 2 boxers who have been attacked or robbed in London. Amir Khan, obviously, infamously, was it last year or the year before, was robbed of his AP watch.
I think they caught the suspect in the end, actually.
So you hear all the stats on the number of phones that are being nicked in London every year. I think it was something like 70,000. They were talking about it yesterday. And it's almost not policed at all anymore.
I saw one myself. I was getting a cab back to the station. I was sitting in the cab, looking at the high street down Edgware Road. A lad was standing on his phone at the side of the street. A bike came whizzing past. Yoink! There he went.
Yeah.
Gone in a flash.
Tears that happened to me. I'm very dramatic anyway, but losing your phone is such a huge thing. You feel so violated.
Yeah, 90,000 phones a year. That's 250 a day. One of our makeup artists here was standing at a traffic light texting, and before she knew it, phone taken out of her hand. She couldn't do anything. It had everything on her whole life, all her cards,
devastating.
her map, she didn't know where she was going. She couldn't call her boyfriend to say, I've lost my phone. She couldn't pay for the tube. I mean, it was just total end.
These people are so callous doing that to people. It's really evil.
Well, there we go. Guys, we're out of time. Pat Sharp, Paula London, more from both of them just after 8:30. Thanks for your company this morning. Thanks for your company at home as well. And let us know what you've thought so far this morning. Our interview with Robert Jenrick got lots of you talking on your say this morning.
Yeah, let's take a look at your weather forecast with Ada McGibbon.